Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday. It is August 4th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and this will wrap our week up. Remember, no chart lesson on Fridays these days, so this will wrap our week up. Basically, trading range today, um, nothing more. It looked like we were going to start off with a two-tiered channel working lower here. Everything fit really nicely, but turned out it was just a range that we couldn't really break through. We couldn't get outside the overnight high here, and we couldn't even really get back down to the overnight low to test it again once we had this failed break lower here. So pretty good trading day. Um, Lots of regular trades here. There's a couple of green ones in here, I think. But yeah, I'm gonna work through these trades. It's a little late again in the evening. It's not nearly as late as last night, but a little late. Uh, but I'm gonna work through them, and we'll call it a week. Call it a night and a week. So this one was interesting here. Um, there was a really when I came in, we were working down, so I don't even have anything on there going up. But there's you did have to consider this one working up, and it was holding until we got a break here. So you were looking for a retest of the high. Um, we ended up getting a chance to go short over here, but you're looking for a retest of the high. We never get anywhere close to that. So, um, but yeah, you're more going sideways here than anything. So I was playing these lows. You really this was the support earlier, so you're going to look for that to probably be your highs. Although it looked for a minute like this was going to be it. But you see, we worked higher. We never could work lower, but this ends up the breakout point here. And that's generally what happens when you see prices break through a support area, kind of like this was here. They're usually going to come back and test it. So if they drop real quick and don't, it won't be long till they probably do. And notice we tested this multiple times before it went lower. So yeah, really at this point, I was more interested in the sideways stuff than I really was these trend lines. But you still draw them because they still play out in most cases. You may not get a new high or low, but generally you'll get a break and a retest of some kind. So noticed here, we're coming down, we get a break, and we retested these lows multiple times here. Excuse me, my throat's bothering me a little today. I woke up this morning with my throat a little scratchy. I don't know if sleeping it's been 100 degrees here in the south, so the air conditioner's been going wide open. So I think sleeping under the air conditioner and the fan last night kind of gave me a little bit of a scratchy throat. So I apologize if I have to pause it occasionally, but my throat is a little scratchy this evening. But yeah, we're working down, but we're also working up. So we kind of got a dilemma here. Which one is in play? Really, there was one working up here as well, and you can see that. So you were looking for a retest of its high, and then when it broke this one, you were looking for a retest of its high. But coming down, you want this to play out first before you start thinking about going long. So notice what happened. Even though we had a double test right here, um, we'd only tried to go lower one time, but then we tried to go lower twice the second time, and look at that reversal bar and lower high there. I like going long right there. There was a second entry long here, and if you took it, it worked, but you had to be concerned about the one working down. You at least want a couple of tries to go low or something. But you get a nice long here, quick easy move, comes back. You can't go long there with that one. You don't really want to go short here either because we've already tested it multiple times. There's not enough room to get out before there. So just see what happens, and you do end up getting a little trap. Go long right there. And another nice scalp, and then we just get stuck right here. And of course you want to draw that trend line off those first couple of swings. And so you got two touches, and it comes back and gives you a third touch there, and that's a fairly bearish bar. Plus you got all this resistance across here, and you've tested this line a few times. So I like going short there. You don't know that it's going to take off all the way to the bottom. That's what you hope. You are first of all looking for it to probably test this, and if it goes on through, probably test the overnight low. Or fortunately, if you took it for it's a nice move and you catch a runner and you ride this all the way down. It does get a break here. This one's a little iffy. I like it, but you got to get in high enough to be able to scalp out before getting to this low. Really, the low is here, but you got to sometimes be concerned about those closes. So you definitely want to get in. So when this broke lower, this is really your signal bar, but it did go out the top and then turn and go out the bottom. So I'm okay having to stop one tick below this if that gives you enough room to get out. If not, wait for it to break lower and then drop a limit order back. And you could have gotten filled a tick or two back if you did it that way. But if you waited on this bar, you had to let it break lower and put your limit order. And you only would have got filled at the low there. I think that would still give you enough room to get out, but you got to be a little concerned about it then. So, yeah, if you didn't play it that way, then this one would have to be green. So it's real close to being green, just not only because it's so close to the low, because that's a very strong trend working down, and that's the first break, and that's a big bearish bar. So, but you just got to be careful going short right into that overnight low. That's a very, very important low. And you can see that was a low from the previous day's afternoon as well. So this one is another one that probably should be green. You got a chance to go long right there. It's a good bit away from the EMA. It's a failed break below this important support area. So it probably should be green. I'll mark it green. I like it. It is a little aggressive, but a lot of times when you catch this trade, guess what? You catch the low of the day. And guess what that would have been right there if you caught that? That is the low of the day. And you can ride this all the way back to the top. And you would have had a runner as well. So you could have easily ridden that runner all the way to the top. So I like those. Sometimes I do mark them aggressive, but I like them. And when you start to understand them and being able to read the chart and see them and recognize them, take them. I mean, you only got to catch one or two of these a week to make it worth trying it once every day and having a loser on it. Because you see, I mean, even right here, you can get almost 10 points. So, but your reversal pattern is right here. Notice how it pushes. Sorry, there goes my throat again. Notice how it pushes up, it pulls back, you get a first entry, pulls back, you get a second entry, but more important, you get through the EMA and it starts closing above it and you get a failed second entry short, and it is working up that trend line right there. So go long right there. And your hope is it's headed all the way back, which it does. You may or may not have got a runner on this one. Mine, it came back just enough to stop that runner out. And then it pushes higher again. I like this bar right here, and it is off the key entry point, the trend line, but notice that all those bars stacked up. There's a doji in there. There's some stems on both sides. It's probably going to do a breakout pullback. Even if it is successful going higher, it's probably going to push up and then pull back and test it and then go higher. So I'm not crazy about going long there with all that congestion right into that possible trend line. It's still looking like a two-tiered channel at this point. But when it pushes through and pulls back and tests it, and it still holds it to the trend line and gives you that bullish bar, put a stop there and go long. The only thing you got to be concerned of is make sure you got enough room to get out before you get to this high right here. I don't have it pulled across there. But just make sure you can get in, and you probably could. You may not have been able to because notice how it gapped across right there and then went higher. So you may not have gotten in that one. You may not have had enough room. So depends on how your bar looks right there. My chart. It's pretty close. It's questionable. So it depends on how your chart looked. There is a double top here where we've had resistance, but notice that trend channel working there. There's no break of it. There is an overshoot here, but notice it takes it a little while before it uh, you get the break. Generally, after an overshoot like that, you're going to get a break pretty soon. Um, so you get it here, first entry, pull back. There's a second entry long right there, but that's a doji. It closes right in the middle, and there's stem on both sides, so don't take that one. But when it makes another little lower high here, I like that one for a long. And notice how nothing can close through that line. It pushed through it a couple times, but nothing's closing there. And we are looking for a retest of the high, and hopefully it's going to go all the way and test the high again. And that's, you get two perfect legs up that test that high. Look how far away you are from the EMA. I like going short right there. So nice short. Um, I think I missed this here. This is your reversal pattern again. It pushes through, tries to go lower once, tries to go lower twice, gives you a nice little reversal bar. So go long right there. And then, of course, I just talked about the short. Pushes up right to the test of the high. You can see the line there. Good bit away from the EMA. Nice bearish bar. Go short there. You might have caught a runner on this one too. And it takes off, it pulls back, gives you another test. Look how bearish that bar is. Hopefully we're going all the way to the other side. Go short right there. And notice there's two legs down and then that push up. So on a smaller scale, that's going to be a failed second entry long or reversal pattern. Notice that pushes through the EMA. But it turns down right off the key entry, what you're looking for there. We do get an overshoot, and look, it wasn't long. As soon as it got to the other side, you get a break of the trend line. You got a little double bottom there, so pull back first entry, pull back second entry. Notice the double top there, failed break higher. Nice bearish bar. Go short right there. And our hope is it goes all the way to the low. Doesn't do it, but you get a nice quick move down. They trap some longs there, most likely. And then I got you into the day, but notice again there's a long there. This is a break, big huge move down, good bit away from the EMA, but again it's a failed break lower. This is the trading range working across here. Failed break lower, reversal bar, good bit away from the EMA. I like taking that one. You might have gotten shaken out of this one. You've been better off to hold on, but this late in the afternoon when it starts going sideways and congested there, you might have taken a tick or two just to get out of that one. It would have worked, but that late in the day, I don't know if I would have risked it. When it didn't take off, I might have exited on that one. So I'm not a big proponent of monkeying with your trades. If you're pretty good at reading this thing, I think you're better off to hang in there, because if you pick and choose and say, okay, this time I think I ought to get out, it'll go on and it'll go exactly where you thought it was going to go eventually. But if you hang on and say, oh, I'm not going to hang on, I'm going to, or rather if you do hang on and say, I'm not going to monkey with it, then it'll come back and stop you out and you'll say, dang, I should have got out. So you really have to decide how you want to do it and pretty much stick to it and do it the same way all the time to play the odds properly, if that makes sense. I hope it does. And my thing is, I've learned not to monkey with my trades unless it's just obvious I was trapped. And this doesn't really look like a trap. It looks like it's just having a hard time going higher, but it can't go lower either. So it should go higher. So if you stick with the rules and just say, hey, I'm gonna stick this one out and hope I read it right, it works out for you. But if you exit, then you exit and you didn't have to, and it goes exactly where you thought it was going to go. So again, my feeling is, my rule, my personal rule, so to speak, is I don't monkey with the trades. I put my stop where it goes, I enter the trade, and I let it go. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'm not wrong very often. And a lot of times, just like entering right here, it took it a minute before it took off. You like these kind where it just rockets off instantly, or right here, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it takes a minute, just like right here. You entered here, it took off pretty quick. And then it comes back and you enter here, and it really did take off pretty quick there again, to be honest, but that's not really a good example. But maybe here, this isn't really a short, but just assume you entered short here, it chopped around for a whole bar before it finally dropped on down. And here's one, if you'd entered right here, it chopped around for 3 or 4 bars before it took off. So that's not uncommon for it to, the whole idea on a lot of these things is they can't move the market. They will try to trick you into entering in the wrong direction so they can get you to exit when you realize you're wrong and drive it in the other direction. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. We're going to start. I'll trade for an hour or so tomorrow, and then I'll wrap it up and start my weekend. So hope you do the same. Hope you had a good trading week. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.